Hi, welcome to the Golf Psychology Podcast. We're continuing our series on pre-round mental prep. Today, we're going to talk about managing pre-round jitters. Everybody gets the jitters, right? Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. We're going to break it down for you. You're watching the Golf Psychology Podcast.
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about the pre-round jitters and how those manifest and help or hurt our performance depending on how we look at it. So for most golfers, if not all, this is a very normal experience that our body is getting ready for performance. We talk about the butterflies. Everybody knows what that feels like, right? Our goal here is to reframe this anxiety as a form of excitement going into the round. How can we do that?
Well, let's not talk about it as anxiety. If we're talking about pre-round jitters, Brock, we don't even want to use the term anxiety. So I want to start there and talk about what's the difference between anxiety, stress, performance anxiety, pressure. I'm putting all those in the same basket versus garden variety pregame jitters. So how do you know whether you have pregame anxiety, and how do you know whether it's just the pre-round jitters? The telltale sign for most golfers is if it goes away after your first shot or middle of the first hole, that's just garden variety, normal pre-round jitters. But if you have performance anxiety or anxiety about your round, that's a much different thing altogether. So we want to differentiate that. If you have that anxiety, it's going to carry on throughout the first few holes and maybe through the entire round as well. And it's a much different, well, I don't want to say it's a much different feeling because it can have the same feelings attached to it, but it's about fear for me. If you're fearing the results, if you're fearing the score you're going to shoot, if you're fearing how you're going to swing, how your swing is going to be that day, then I would say you're more in the realm of that performance anxiety, worry, apprehension.
Yeah, I think that's certainly a great differentiation. So let's talk a little bit more about the jitters and how we can use those to fuel us going into the golf round. So think about the physical sensations that you're going to experience before a big round of golf. You know, those butterflies in the stomach, the sweaty palms potentially, feeling a little bit tight, heart racing, breathing changes a little bit. These are all relatively normal sensations. It's a matter of how we view these. Are we looking at them as, why is my heart racing? Should I be nervous right now? That's probably going to make us feel a little bit more tight going into the round. Our goal is to reframe it as, this is my body getting ready. I'm using this adrenaline to fuel me because I'm excited to go into the round, that I can use these butterflies and get them to fly in formation in my stomach to help me get into performance with a good level of intensity and focus.
Yeah, I want to reiterate that fact is if you're feeling your heart rate beating or you got sweaty palms, it does not mean you're necessarily anxious. It could be your garden variety pregame jitters. As Brock said, you want to view that in a different way. Like, this is helpful. This is going to give me energy during the round. This is going to help me focus better. This is why I play golf, because it's exciting for me. So look at it as I'm excited rather than I'm anxious and there must be something wrong with me.
Yes, absolutely. And viewing it as an opportunity to get into that competitor's mindset. That's kind of the fun part about competing, is when you start to feel some of that intensity physically and mentally. That's a great opportunity to show off what you're made of, that it means something because you are a little bit nervous. It means you care about golf, that it's an exciting opportunity to go challenge yourself.
Yeah, and if it doesn't go away for you, you can't reframe your pregame jitters, and it doesn't go away for you, that means you're more on the side of the performance anxiety, the worry, apprehension, and fear. And that's a totally different topic than what we're talking about today. But if you do have that anxiety, that performance anxiety or fear, that's where you're going to want to contact a professional. You can contact us at peaksports.com and click on the coaching programs there, and we can certainly help you with that performance anxiety. We work a lot of the time with our athletes on managing anxiety, fear of failure, and worry. And sign up for a free 15-minute session with us as well. That's at peaksports.com. Thanks for joining us on the Golf Psychology Podcast.